Hey, Greg.
How you doing today? Hello, hello.
This is, these little girls are supposed to come tonight, my kids are the whole, they're at the Girl Scout, Girl Scout thing.
We had received those emails and all those.
Most kind of thing.
Miss Rich. Miss Rich. Looking pretty dapper too. Thank you. Well.
We are.
Greg, I'm sorry. I heard you.
I was
I'm
just,
acting like you out here. Ooh, I'm too shy. Hey, Scotty.
all right, we'll call this meeting to order.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Mayor and council members, if you'll turn to your work session agenda, look under our Q3 goals. We're here at the end of the third quarter, so I'll just kind of read the ones in red. There's several on here that you'll notice that say a budgeted item, and then our quarterly updates on nuisance properties and customer service experience. Those are on the work session agenda a little bit later. And then on your council agenda, you'll see the budget resolution is in there. All the budgeted items that are mentioned in Q3 are included in the budget. So with that, the Parks and Rec maintenance facility, we still have to pave and do interior finishing in that. That will not be done in Q3. So I'm asking to move that into a Q4 goal. And then our A-Trip project, of course, the city's done everything we can do on that at Shellfield and 27, but they're waiting on the actual materials to be delivered. That won't happen until October, but I feel pretty confident that that would be a fourth quarter goal as well. A couple of the other ones, Enterprise City School agreement with Coppinville is still with their attorney. And then the wayfinding project is still with ALDOT for review. So those are things outside of our control. We'll continue to monitor that every week. We touch base with those two entities just to find out where we're at, basically with legal in both instances to make sure that we've got, I think the school system hired a new attorney, started the new school year, and then ALDOT is kind of slow with what they're doing, but they are aware of it and have the request in hand. So that kind of concludes that, but I do want to mention, unless there's any questions, council, are there any questions? So again, with this, as we get towards the end, we usually select a date and maybe push the time for the next meeting an hour out. So instead of starting at 5, we would start at 4 p.m. typically. So we do have a special called session that will happen to canvass the election on the 30th. I don't know that that would be the best time to do that fourth quarter goal setting. But the next available time would be the first meeting in October. And that would be my suggestion, would be to do the quarterly goal setting at 4 p.m., hour ahead of time, for that first meeting in October.
Anybody check the calendars? The October 7th.
I prefer the 7th. The canvassing tends to be a little much, and that's a long, lengthy work session as well, so
Yes, ma'am.
my
So
brain can't handle all that.
Unless there's any
Seventh's good for me.
objections, then we'll move the work session start time to 4 p.m. on the 7th. And then on the 30th, just so you're aware, we will have one other piece of business that may come before you. If you recall last year when we did an across-the-board 5% increase in pay, we had a resolution that the council adopted that froze merit appointments. We may bring something like that for 2.5% increase in pay. That was what we talked about in the budget. We want to do that because the ordinance ends on September 30th, or the resolution that you passed last year ends on September 30th, and we would like to do that ahead of time, ahead of the first in October, so that we don't have to go back and retroactively mess with the pay, because the pay period starts on the 24th of September. Will that be amenable to your?
That's fine.
Okay.
Good.
And that's everything on the quarterly goals, sir.
All right, then we will move into reviewing the agenda. So if you'll turn to your regular council meeting agenda here. We will begin with roll call, opening prayer and pledge of allegiance, and then we will have the oath of office for Todd Walls and put him in his seat tonight. Have the approval of the agenda, consideration of the consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda anyone wants to discuss before we move further? So we have contract billings for Whaley Construction, $81,727.84. CC and Litchfield, $12,507. These are both construction, recreation, and aquatic center bills. Poly Incorporated, $2,926 consulting services for wastewater treatment plants. Southern Earth Sciences, $11,475 asbestos surveys for the CDBG project, demo project. Fine Getty and Associates, $6,250 for contract services, September 2025. Any questions on those? All right. So we have travel requests, administrative, engineering, Parks and Rec, Police Department. Anyone have any questions about those? All right. And we'll have a mayoral proclamation for National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And then Enterprise Police Department will present a check to the Special Olympics. And then we will recognize some police promotions. Then we have a request to address the council, permit request on the 2026 Juneteenth parade. Chief Moore, is there any? There we go.
No, sir, it's the same thing we've done for the last 2 years, so this is the third annual, and we've pretty much got it down. It's a nice time. It's part of our community, so we're always for it.
Okay. And this is where they're going to be on Main Street. It's like 12 to 1. But we're not closing the street, right?
No, sir, we move the traffic just for safety for everybody. And then soon as the parade gets done, we say 12 to 1, we have everything pretty much closed by then, traffic off. As Soon as they step off and they clear an intersection, we open everything back up. So 45 minutes normally is what we're down to.
Okay.
So we just, give us a little buffer room for issues or whatever else. But yes, sir, that's what it is.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And then we will consider a permanent street closure request for Whoville Celebration 2025. I'm assuming this is just our normal, we've done this a lot.
Yes, sir. Again, this is the same, a couple extra streets. I think we started to close last year, Easy Street and stuff. But again, it's a good time for downtown events, and we'll have it closed down. So again, we're in support of it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. And then we'll have privilege of the floor and staff reports. And under old business, we have it's like 3 public hearings. 2 of them are related to John's rezone. I believe this is the, Mr. Tellis, you going to speak to these?
Yeah, I think these are, we had talked, I think at maybe the last or 2 council meetings ago, about some of the issues that staff had brought up and the Planning Commission found with spot zoning in and around that property. We also went back to the Industrial Development Board as we identified several of those parcels belonged to the Industrial Development Board, were zoned M2, but had subsequently over the years had parks or ball fields or tennis courts built on them. So I think the council was amenable, the ID board was amenable to give that land, deed that land back to the city. I think you all are amenable to rezone that institutional, which eliminates any staff recommendations against rezoning that property institutional. So I think what you'll hear from staff today is that there's a full recommendation to support rezoning that property institutional, despite the Planning Commission, which I think that they made the right recommendation based on the facts that they had at hand.
Okay. All right. And once again, this is just rezoning. It does not approve any kind of plans or any kind of.
That's correct, just rezoning the property.
Okay. And then we'll have a public hearing consideration of a rezone for 507 Glover Avenue from B1 to R5. I believe this is the one that's just fixing some zoning issues that
I'll let Thomas.
for existing property, right?
Council, yes, that's correct. It's just taking a apartment complex that already exists and then changing the zoning to a zoning that allows for that apartment complex to be repaired or rebuilt in the case of an emergency or
Okay.
fire.
All right, thank you. And then we're going to review and consider ordinance 090225 to establish designated business parking permit program. Does anyone have any, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to remind the council, so we had some questions about this in the staff meeting today. So this will be for a very limited section of East College Street, essentially from the monument to the courthouse. As we discussed at the last meeting, it'll be for property owners, not by business, but the property owners will have the right to do that. They have certain stipulations they'll have to meet, including having a active business license up on their taxes or remittance of taxes, if they're sales taxes, property taxes, whatever. And then the buildings will have to be inspected and be up to code, our current code, to be eligible to apply for a permit. What we have found is that in that permitted process, a lot of the businesses there are varied. So you have some professional offices, you have some retailers, you have restaurants. And so they all have different needs about what they would like. Some of them might want 2-hour parking, some of them might want employee parking, but they all have the option to get a permit for one spot. And there's enough latitude in there that we can work with those individual property owners and see what that will look like. So we'll talk to Lily. We're going to try to have some meetings with those property owners as they see this ordinance, assuming it gets passed. and really be able to go into that. But this will be for business hours after, 4:30, 5 o'clock. It'll be public parking. On the weekends, it'll be public parking. But some of the businesses, like the restaurants, might want places for DoorDash or pickup orders to go, to be there. Some of the businesses might want employee parking. And there's less and less of that available as some of the other parking areas have been utilized by vacant buildings being occupied by different uses. And so we're trying something here to see if this could help address that. And then, if it's successful, we could look at expanding it in other areas. We can't expand it along Main Street right now because we don't have AlDOT's permission. But this would be a good test run to see, it's probably 10 businesses or 10 property owners along there that would qualify. So it'd be enough that we could get a good data set and figure out what works and what doesn't.
So, looking through this ordinance, as you mentioned, it has to be the property owner, not the business owner, that requests this.
That's correct.
And is there, and I may just be overlooking it, is there anything in here that prohibits a single property owner from having more than one?
Yes. And it may, if it's not in there, the intent was to have one per property owner.
Well, I felt like I knew that was the intent, but I think I'm missing it somewhere in here because I read through it
Let me see
a
if I
couple of
can-
times. It just could be my eyes going in circles trying to read legalese, but
Good evening. It doesn't necessarily say one, but it says a parking space.
right.
So
Okay.
that by that definition, we mean a as in one.
Okay, and that
If
whole-
that's something you would like us to make clearer, we definitely can.
well, I guess the question is will that be enforceable as only one if it just says A?
I think so.
Okay,
I think we can.
okay. I knew that was the intent, that's why I wanted to bring that up, because I couldn't find that specific line that
Sure.
specifically restricted it. Does anyone have any further questions? Okay. All right. Then we will, new business, we will introduce some planning commission recommendations. We'll introduce an ordinance for rezoning, another rezone, so we have 3 rezones, and then we will introduce an ordinance for the sale of property to Turner Orthodontics Properties, 0.42 acres of property on Lester Drive to Turner Orthodontics Properties at a cost of $19,400.
Yes, sir. And that property has been surveyed and appraised, so that amount is what the appraisal came back at. And he has agreed that he would like to buy it at the appraised value.
Okay. And is there any reason to suspend the rules and get this done tonight, or can it just be introduced and held over?
It
as
can be
typical?
introduced and held over.
Okay. All right, and then we're going to review and consider Resolution 09-1625, which is the fiscal year 2026 budget. We will, this typically, I can't remember, is this typically voted on the same night it's introduced, or do we hold it over?
It typically is. It's a resolution, not an ordinance. So yes, it would be introduced or read and adopted the same night.
Okay. Does anyone have any reason why we would not go ahead and vote on that tonight? You good with that? All right. So we'll review and consider resolution 19-1625A, declare certain properties a public nuisance, excessive weed and growth. I guess There's a list of those addresses right in that. Found it.
So it's only one property that we're bringing forward to you. There should be an address established with it. I know we're just calling for the public hearing tonight, but I do have a presentation of that property, pictures to show the overgrowth, if you would like to see that when I do my nuisance properties update, but whatever the council would like.
Well, this particular one is a resolution, so it's not even a public hearing, so. I
Yes,
guess
sir.
it's-
It calls for the resolution calls for the public hearing to be set, I believe, at the 21st meeting, October 21st.
It does. I didn't read the whole thing, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I skimmed that. Okay. And then review and consider resolution 09-1625 for approving lease of Enterprise Family YMCA. Mr. Tullis, you want to?
So this is, Enterprise YMCA is now doing business as the YMCA of Greater Montgomery. And this was actually approved back in 2022 for the mayor to authorize and execute that lease agreement. But because of that change, we would like to bring it back before the council since the entity has, the formal entity has changed, just so that there's no issues with that lease agreement.
Any questions? Does this start the clock over, or when we do this?
It will.
Okay.
It'll be a 10-year lease agreement for basically like $1 a year.
Will there be any physical name of the change of the name of the Enterprise YMCA?
No, it'll still be the Enterprise YMCA. This is just the legal entity. Since they've done that change,
Right.
when I met with them last week, they are investing a pretty substantial amount of money, I think somewhere in the $700,000 to $800,000 range into the property. They're going to put a new roof on the basketball gym, new floors, and do some other things on the inside. And I think they're buying new equipment for the workout area, the fitness area. So.
Okay. We're going to then review and consider resolution for public nuisance petitions. Yeah, there you go.
Good evening again. Okay, this resolution has to do with the fact that we've been discussing with you guys some businesses that are public nuisances. And per our discussions, you know, we filed lawsuits to try to get injunctions against certain businesses. And in the course of one of these lawsuits, one is trying to raise the defense that we did not have the authority to. While we believe we had the authority to definitely bring these lawsuits, we've discussed it with you, we've done our investigations, we decided that the best strategy legally is to go ahead and do a resolution as well that says, yes, the authority has existed to file these injunctions. These are the ones we've been working with Brian Paul to file. It's a very similar tactic to what you guys did a few years back in the Johnny Henderson litigation. Rayner brought a similar resolution forward, and so we're just doing the same exact thing that says, yes, this is what we want. We have the authority to go forward on these. Are there any questions?
Anyone have any questions on this? All right. Thank you very much. We're going to review and consider resolution to amend employee classification plan salary schedule.
Yes, sir. As the engineering department continues to grow and develop, the city grows as well. I've proposed to you during our budget hearings a new org chart that I think will better serve the city and the work that we see every day in the engineering department to create basically two positions, one being the assistant city engineer and a city planner. That org chart and those discussions happened, and of course, in the budget hearings, and I've budgeted accordingly for next year's fiscal year for both of these positions. And just asking permission for you to approve this resolution to move forward with putting those positions out there for applications to be secured by the city.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Mott? Thank you. And resolution to accept streets in the Legends subdivision Phase 3. Sorry, I guess should have just left you up there. I think
Yes,
you got
sir.
the
Sorry
next
about
two.
that. The project is complete. The city's done an inspection. We have a short punch list of items that the developers agreed to handle with their engineer. So I'm recommending approval of the Legends and the city accept those streets contingent upon the developer and the engineer completing our punch list items.
All right, that would be for both phases.
Yes, sir, both phases. They're minor, and we've discussed that with them. It shouldn't be an issue.
All right. And then we'll review and consider a street lighting request.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and address this one. This is a request that came to engineering department with the police chief for public safety to add those 2 lights there to our existing contract there.
So light fixture on Friendship Street at Delville Avenue and a light fixture at Friendship Street at East Grubbs.
At East Cross, both of those are safety issues, sir.
Okay. All right, then we'll conclude our meeting with the mayor's report, councilmember comments. So we'll go back to our work session agenda. And Mr. Mott, Mr. Hardy, looks like you guys are up next for the nuisance property update.
Council, so you've asked the engineering department to put together a quarterly update for our blight elimination program, which is basically what we are doing and how we are progressing with our demolition initiative throughout the city. So briefly, I just kind of want to remind you of our objectives and what we're trying to do with the city. We're trying to eliminate blight. We're trying to ensure that we have the safest neighborhoods that we can. And we're really just trying to cultivate a healthy relationship with the city as a whole, making sure that neighbors are respecting each other through their properties, keeping them clean, things of that nature. On our ordinance 05-21-24C is what basically has established us to be able to declare properties as a public nuisance and then be able to order their demolition once we go through a lengthy process of basically notifying the property owners, posting Les Pendens orders on the doors, having public hearings in front of you, council, and then declaring it for the demolition. So basically some benefits of abating dangerous properties. We're going to have safer communities because of it. We're going to have an ability to redevelop a lot easier, and we're going to be able to establish more affordable housing. The reason for that is we are eliminating areas where you will have some criminal activity in the sense of like people going into abandoned properties, either tearing them up with vandalism. We had a string of people setting them on fire at one point in the last 3 years or so. It clears the property, leaves a blank slate, allows people to be able to rebuild. And then also, when we go through these processes, it's not always just about taking a dilapidated structure and putting it on the ground. We've actually had a lot of success with giving people an ultimatum of either tear the property down or fix it, and then fixing it and bringing it up to standard, and now there's families or potentially new businesses that are in these structures. I've shared these pictures with you before, but I just kind of want to remind you of some of our successes that we've had over the past year with our program. So this is 420 Grimes Street. This house was termite infested. It had vagrant activity in it. People were using it as an illegal dumping ground. Just a list of reasons why this property needed to come down. As you can see from the pictures there, we were able to demolish the property after going through our proper steps, after giving due process to the owner, after establishing that there was no asbestos or any other types of dangerous materials inside the property. And then we were able to demolish the property, level it, and then resod it, basically establishing a blank slate to potentially be redeveloped at one point. The same thing with 502 South Weeda Street. We were able to take a burnt-down property that had infestation issues, was having vandalism issues, and we were able to tear it down, put a blank slate. The picture doesn't show, but we went back there, we sodded it, and we were able to establish another area potentially for redevelopment. The neighborhood, specifically with this one, when we were doing this, had multiple people come out and thank the city for their efforts in cleaning up these types of structures. But like I said earlier, it's not always just about getting a house on the ground. A lot of times what we're trying to do is make sure that properties that are already established are just being taken care of. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring to you 204 West Park Avenue, was because this is one of the best remodels that we have seen through this initiative, and we've seen quite a few. But they were able to go there in this neighborhood. They were able to completely remodel the outside, remodel the inside. I believe it was up for sale earlier this year, and I do believe it's sold, and there's another family that's able to live in this house, call it home, and we're, like I said earlier, be able to have affordable housing by being able to use the bones, the foundation, the property that's already established, that's already there. This one I want to spend a little bit of time on, just kind of telling you what was going on with it. So as you can see, I've brought this for you before. 912 Rucker Boulevard, it's a commercial property. It has probably been left this way for several years. It was an eyesore. There was tons of issues inside the structure as well, from electrical issues. They had a wooden fence door being used as the panel for the electrical box. So there's a lot of issues in this property. We were able to go through our demolition process and actually be able to facilitate or help encourage the property owner to make a sale to where now they are bringing the property back up. We've actually been given full architectural and engineered plans for this building. You will see a remediation agreement come across your desk for the next council meeting, hopefully, as long as we can get in touch with them to get all the paperwork worked out. But this will be a completely remodeled building, and it will be a restaurant. So it will be we took a piece of property that was potentially about to be demolished, was about to just not exist anymore, just basically be a parking lot, and be able to bring it back to standard and be able to, add something to the community. So this is a summary of what we've been able to accomplish over the last about a year and a half of the demo initiative and the blight elimination programs that we've put together. So from private owners, we've had over 22 people. We've had 22 properties who have mitigated themselves, which means they've either remodeled or they've demolished it themselves. The demo initiative, we've addressed 30 properties, 55 units. The current community development block grants, we have, between the two phases, we have 19 properties and we have 30 units that are going to be demolished. That's including some very notable ones, such as the burnt-out properties in Castle Ridge off Dixie Drive. So in a total, we've addressed 71 properties and 107 units in that area. So we are working right now through phase one of our demolition project. We have had issues with getting people to bid it. So we're still working through that, trying to get bids to be able to bring them to the ground. But the ones that did not have asbestos, we were able to do that in-house through Public Works and get those done. We do have bid openings for the first phase of the Community Development Block Grant Program next week. And so we're going to see what we get through those, see what bids we're receiving, and then we're going to put the phase one back out to bid as well. We will come before the council on the 21st of October and ask for another extension to phase one, trying to get these properties bid out. So I want to show you something I think is a pretty neat tool. So this is a Google Earth program that the city uses. Basically, every one of those dots that you're seeing, or the targets that you're seeing, is an area that the city over the last 3 years has either addressed or has mitigated a property through demolition or remediation as well. So this is showing the green targets that you can see right here. These are ones that have already been mitigated. They've either been remodeled or they have been demolished. And this kind of gives a good representation of what we're able to accomplish and how wide of a scope we are looking at when it comes to these demo properties. The orange is demo properties that we are in the process of getting done. That's either phase 1 to phase 3 of our own demo initiative, or it's phase 1 to phase 2 of the Community Development Block Grant Program. And so I will say that altogether, over the last 3 years, we have been able to address 96 properties, and that is 165 units that we've been able to we're either in the process of getting on the ground or remediated, or we already have it on the ground, and we're able to give a blank slate to redevelopment, or we're able to limit the amount of safety issues. And with that, I wanted to ask if there was any questions.
I got a question. I just want to be sure I'm clear. With the phase 1, you're referring to those first properties, are these the properties that were Mr. Ben, Attorney Ben comes down? Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we're doing an extension for that first?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
we've already addressed the second phase?
So we've addressed the second phase.
Right.
That has gone through, the council has been declared for public nuisance. The asbestos testing has taken place. We're waiting on the asbestos testing results to come
From the
back.
second phase?
To the second
Right.
phase. The third phase is what we will hear at council on the 7th, that we will be holding public hearings for. Phase 1 of the demolition project, the main issue that we're having is getting people to bid it. And so we are trying to work through that issue that we're having and bring qualifying bids.
Is there a, reason that we're having such a hard time, or just?
So the project, the one he's talking about in phase 1, there was pretty simple dwellings that Public Works felt comfortable that we had room to do the demolition work, and asbestos and lead were not an issue. We got those on the ground. The other ones are a little bit more complex. Some of them are multi-unit structures, 4 or 8 units in a structure very close to other structures that are there. I would like to bid those out because those contractors typically have bigger, better equipment, more manpower than what we would have in Public Works to not only take care of the asbestos or the hazardous material, but also be able to put it on the ground safely. The intent right now is to put it back out for bid. I think maybe it's a combination of probably timing. There's only a handful of contractors that do this type of work, and if they're busy, they won't bid on other work. So we're hopeful that we're going to take bids next week from CDBG. Those are typical of the contractors that we would see during that bid opening. I want to talk to those guys and see what we could do about putting it on the street to make it as appealing to them to put a bid price in on that project for the city. At that point, we'll put the bid documents back out on the street. You've already given me permission to do that. And then if we get good bids, I'll bring back to you a recommendation to move forward with the low bidder. If we don't, I've already talked to Shannon Roberts about what can we do about shoring up the resources we have, because we do need to get those structures on the ground. So we're going to try, first of all, to go back through the bid process, and if that doesn't work, then we'll come back with a plan B or plan C. But I think it was timing, truly. I think it was, people were busy and they didn't need the work, so hopeful that we will find a little bit better timing in the bid market.
Thank
So
you.
do we anticipate, we've set goals to, address a particular number of properties with each phase? We can still keep going forward, or is that eventually, if we keep having bidding issues, is that going to stall those phases
No,
from
ma'am.
going forward?
The goal was to put out 25 units, approximately 25
Right.
units per package. We're still on process for doing that.
Okay.
This is the first one of getting them on the ground, and like I said, there was some remember we did the worst first in the first bid, and some of those structures had fires, they had they're trying to implode on each other, and those are the ones that I'm really concerned about, because I'm afraid if you go up there and touch it with an excavator, I'm afraid the whole thing is just going to fall in on itself. You can't structurally take it down, and I think it's going to be, you know, almost catastrophic implosion when it happens. That's why I want to have a contractor there that does that for a living. Not saying that our public works people are not capable of doing it. I just think the more equipment that a bidder could bring there, it would probably be better for the project if we can get them to bid on it, and two, if we can afford to do that. I just think at this point, it's getting someone interested in coming and giving us a bid on those projects.
More questions? All right.
So I did want to just give a closing statement, and basically, what does the future of Enterprise look like? And so I wanted to share this graph with you. If you look at there's the 2023, 2024, and 2025 numbers for new residential growth. So in 23, we had 127 new dwelling units. In 24, we had 139 new dwelling units. And as you can see, in 2025, and just August, we are already at 166 new dwelling units. So at this time, we have already doubled and almost doubled the previous year's new dwelling unit permits. So while we are removing a lot of properties, we are taking a lot of properties down, we are growing exponentially faster than what we are removing from the city.
I just want to say one thing. You know, everybody says we're busy, right? And that's no doubt. But the trend has always been going up, but you can see this year is exponential. So, you know, is the housing market slowing down? We don't see it. We see way more permits being pulled for new structures than we've had since we started keeping up with the data. The one thing I want to point out is some of the areas that we're talking about redevelopment, if you go back to that graph that Thomas showed you, we have areas being developed in the heart of the city, right, inside the circle. And if you look around the perimeter of those have probably 6, 8, 10, 12 units that we have eliminated blight around that. So the fact that we're pushing to get those structures, those unsafe structures, those blight structures down on the ground or rehabbed to something safe and livable is causing people to reinvest back into Enterprise, which I think is a great thing. So you're seeing undeveloped plots come to the table that we're seeing permits on, and I think that's what's driving some of these numbers that you've got there in front of you. The trend looks good, and the future looks good as far as from the engineering department of what we're seeing as development and growth in the city, and we just want to share not just the blight removal, but what are we seeing as permits moving forward as new construction, and we thought this may.
Would you say there's more inside or more outside the circle?
By far is outside, I would think. Would you agree? Go ahead.
So it would be outside the circle, would be more where we're having our residential, where more houses are being built. But I do want to say, to the same note, we have 400 platted lots inside of the circle that are being built right now. That we have 2 subdivisions that are going to be finalized inside the city limit or inside the circle next month, and they'll start building. We've got some that are about to start construction once we get their plans approved to them and we get that process going. So there is while the outside the circle is currently growing faster, inside the circle has the potential and is going to eventually start to match outside of the circle.
Okay. Thank you.
I think this helps explain why you might need some more help.
Sir, I hope this helps you quarterly to give you this update, but we really appreciate the opportunity to do this and to present that. And I just want to, give Thomas and his group a pat on the back. Those guys, they're doing a phenomenal job with a small group they have of taking care of the needs. And we appreciate the opportunity to present this to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Appreciate it.
All right, next we have our customer experience update.
Evening. Okay. Just really quickly, I know we've been working on the integration of several components with our Munis or Tyler Technologies. We have implemented already with the water department, Tyler cashiering and a new credit card payment system, and a new online payment system that has been going through. We are right now in the testing phase for revenue and for engineering and permitting. Those systems actually, technically speaking, from the background, from the IT perspective, they're ready to go. We've just got a few minor things, bugs in them that we're trying to work out on our side. We've run through some test business licenses and some things like that. We're just trying to make sure that they're mapped through the system correctly, how we need them to be. And we have a few things that we need to work out. We just received in our final set of new credit card machines for engineering and for revenue. And we are still waiting on some printers on the backside, so on the employee side of that. That should be here, I'm thinking, middle of October. And we should also have the little minor bugs worked out by October. So my plan, my goal is that we should be able to be live for the public with business license issuance, revenue, and engineering and permitting by the end of October.
All
So,
online.
Yes, that is where we're headed. So, again, it's kind of implementing just those new connections in the systems with the credit card processing and the back side of that, the back programming of that. But we're really close, really close.
So
So I
once
would
this-
anticipate the end of October.
So once this is complete, a business could start, from start to finish, apply and receive a business license online?
We are, yes. It will require some contact with people in the office because you'll have to submit information. We'll have to calculate like how, the way that the system is, and we talked to Tyler. The one thing that is holding us up right now is an original business license. Being able to completely do that independently, like at home in the evening, filling that out, having that system calculated if you've never had a business license before. They acknowledge that that is something that not just us, but everyone all the cities who utilize their system, that is something that they need to implement. They are currently working, their IT people are currently working on the programming and things that need to be done on their side to make that happen. As of right now, that's not in there. However, for businesses that already have a license and they are doing a renewal and going through the renewal process, that can be done online, yes. Or it will be able to be done
Good.
online once we get this implemented, yes.
Good. That's been
Yes.
a long-term goal here.
I hear you, yes, exactly. But we're getting there, we're really, really close, because, again, I'll start my plug now, that renewal season, Revenue Office gets really busy in December because they start generating those renewal notices to send out to all of our businesses. And then renewal season goes into full swing, of course, the 1st of January. So we want to make sure that we've had time and gotten the system in place, the new credit card system and all of that in place, and had it thoroughly tested prior to that happening so that everything can go smooth with renewal season. So, yeah.
I was just going to touch on some of the implementation that we're working on in Munis for the employee side. I am in the process now of getting the system ready to have open enrollment done through a Munis employee access portal. And in addition, that employee access portal will allow employees to access their pay stubs, their tax documents, their W-2s, 1095Cs, Also will allow employees to change their own information instead of having to come through HR. They'll be able to change direct deposit information, addresses, phone numbers, that sort of thing through Employee Access. They will also be able to add dependents, look at what benefits they have in that Employee Access. So for the past couple of weeks to get the system ready for open enrollment, we're going to try to back open enrollment up a little bit this year and have it around mid-October. But over the past couple of weeks, I've been building out the insurance programs in Munis so that when open enrollment comes and employees log on to that Employee Access to enroll, then the cost tables are in there correctly to calculate those benefits that the employee selects. So those are all built out now. I have another training session with Munis Monday to start testing that. And then as soon as we finish up open enrollment, then we're going into the implementation of the time and attendance piece, where we ordered the time clocks. Those will get installed, and we will begin working on that piece of Munis. So that's where we are with that.
Any questions? Thank you very much. We have just a few minutes before our meeting. Is there anything that you guys want to bring up and discuss before we adjourn? No. All right, we'll adjourn for the next few moments before our regular meeting, and we will call to order at 6 p.m.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Amen. All right. Oh, yeah. It's been a long time since we, and it's a friendly crowd, not no problem.
Yes, sir. So Tammy just sat 3 people in the front row. There's number 3 coming up for your proclamation. Behind them, the glasses that recognize Pastor Bradley, the church review. There's several members of the congregation for that. Right up in here, for that check presentation. We're going to start to trickle in with several officers and their families who are out in the lobby still. And Girl Scouts in the back for their public comment about the balloons.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just fine. What about you? Wonderful. Working hard. put it together.
I said I was gonna say something about it. I just, you saw me right, and that's what I said I was gonna write about. I was gonna mention something about.
On the friendly, now, you know, you got no mess going, nobody agitated. That's, he's been talking, Wall Street.
If we could bring the room to order. I don't have one. I need a gavel or something.
Beat on the floor.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. Let the record show that all members of the council are in attendance. We'll start with our opening prayer. Glenn Morgan is going to lead us in prayer.
Yeah, let's pray.
Stand, please.
Lord, as we pause tonight, Lord, we thank you and we acknowledge your greatness, your power, your majesty, Lord. At the same time, Lord, we acknowledge and thankful for your goodness, your mercy, your grace, and your love. I thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon this city. Lord, I say a special prayer tonight, Lord, for the council. I pray you would give them discernment, Lord, and wisdom to be able to decide, Lord, the affairs of this city in a way that be pleasing unto you and according to your will. Lord, we give this meeting to you and the proceedings of it, Lord, we pray, be pleasing and acceptable to you. In your Son's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think now we see why we moved the council meetings from City Hall to here. Be a little crowded over there in the old chambers. So we have a vacancy on our council seat that was vacated by former Councilman Turner Townsend, and we made the decision at our last council meeting to go ahead and seat incoming Councilman Todd Walls, since he won the election. And this time, I'm going to ask Judge Sherling to come and give him the oath of office.
Let's stand.
All right, I'll now call for a motion to approve the agenda of the meeting as submitted.
I move to approve the agenda of the meeting as submitted.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we will consider the consent agenda. All matters listed within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the council for review, are considered to be routine, and will be enacted by one motion of the City Council with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired on an item, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request of a member of the City Council. I call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I'd like to now recognize Mayor Cooper, who will present a proclamation declaring September 2025 as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the City of Enterprise.
Good evening to everyone. At this time, I would like to ask Ashley Chastain and Kristen Jones from SpectraCare Health System to join me up here, as well as Vernon Johnson, Suicide Prevention Program Coordinator at Fort Rucker. I have a proclamation here. It says, whereas September is recognized as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and whereas suicide is a public health challenge that causes immeasurable pain among individuals, families, and communities across the country, and whereas anyone can experience a suicide crisis regardless of age, gender, race, socioeconomic status, religion, or background. However, certain populations are at a higher risk. And whereas suicide was the 11th leading cause of death in the United States in 2023, with 49,316 Americans dying by suicide. Whereas in Alabama, individuals in crisis of experiencing suicidal thoughts have access to help through the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline available 24/7. And whereas organizations like SpectraCare Health System contributed by providing resources, raising awareness, reducing stigma, and supporting prevention efforts. Now, therefore, I, William E. Cooper, Sr., Mayor of the City of Enterprise, do hereby proclaim September 2025 as National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the City of Enterprise, Alabama. I encourage all residents to raise awareness, reach out to those in need, and support the resources available for suicide prevention. In witness whereof here, I hereto set to sign this proclamation and the seal of the city. This was done on September 16, 2025, in the year of our Lord.
Do we need to- This time, I'd like to recognize Police Chief Michael Moore, who will present a check to representatives of the Coffee Dale Geneva Special Olympics.
All those standing in the back and you know who you are, come on up front. So Council and Mayor, every year
we have decided that we were going to support our Special Olympics. We have the Law Enforcement Torch Run, where we run with some amazing athletes, and we support them. The law enforcement began this, where we ran the torch and lit the flames of the Special Olympics. We're proud to support them. We thank our businesses. This year it was McAllister's and Butcher's Daughter allowed us to do Tip a Cop. If anybody knows what Tip a Cop is, awesome. If you don't, let me explain it. So we will serve you at Tip a Cop. All we're asking is all the proceeds that we get tipped, they go straight to Special Olympics. We had other events that we raised, T-shirts and other things. And so we would love to present tonight the check to the Special Olympics of Dale, Geneva, and Coffee County. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll come on up here around it.
Emily, is it close enough? Okay. Genevieve.
I'd like to recognize Police Chief Michael Moore and Mayor Cooper to present badges to the following officers in recognition of their promotion to higher ranks. You know what? I'm going to let you read those names.
Okay. So today we gather to recognize and celebrate an important milestone in the careers of several of our officers. Promotion in the Enterprise Police Department is never given lightly. It's earned through a process that reflects both dedication and professionalism. Each of you who stands here today has completed the full promotional process. The application, the written exam, the oral board, and the review of your longevity and educational accomplishments. This process is designed not only to test your knowledge and skills, but also to ensure you are ready to take on the greater responsibilities. To our new corporals, this promotion represents the beginning of your journey into supervision. You are now the first-line leaders of our department. You will serve as mentors to the young officers just beginning their careers in law enforcement, shaping their work ethic, their professionalism, and their understanding of what it means to wear the badge. Your role is critical because you will influence the very foundation on which our future leaders are built. To our sergeants, you now step into one of the most important leadership positions with the Enterprise Police Department. As sergeants, you must balance the responsibility of being a leader to your team while ensuring the overall mission of our organization is accomplished. That mission, as you know, is steady advancement in the quality of life for the citizens of Enterprise by reduction of crime through community trust and partnership. You are the ones who turn this mission into reality each and every day. Leading by example, building trust, and holding the line between our officers and the community we serve. Today's promotions are more than new rank insignia. They represent trust. Trust that you will lead with integrity, with fairness, and with the same commitment to service that brought you into this profession. I am proud of each of you and confident that you will excel in your new roles. Congratulations, and thank you for the continued service of the Enterprise Police Department. So we're going to have Sergeant Tanner Brune, Sergeant William Ezel, and Sergeant Madison Nichols. The importance of this next point, and I'm going to have the families come up in a minute, is it's very difficult to do our job. You've heard that over and over again. I wouldn't be where I was at without the support of my wife and my family, and every time I've gotten promoted, She was there to pin my badge. It's very important. They're part of the family. They've made us a family, and they continue to support us as we move on in our careers. So at this point, I'd like to ask the families of who've been designated to pin the badge on these three sergeants. Logan, if he doesn't cry, you're not doing it right. Oh, good night. We can get a picture. Corporal Derek Mock, Corporal Kimberly Griswold, Corporal Tyler McPhail, Corporal Christopher Jordandale, Corporal Dylan Morrow, Corporal Lori Alford, and Corporal Aaron Hayes. Please step forward. We're remiss to mention one that's not here with us. He's actually deployed serving our great country, and that's Christian Aaron Smith. So he'll be recognized when he comes back. Now, if I can have the family again of these corporals step forward to do the pinning. Thank y'all.
Right now, we have a request by Nicole Nichols, representing Johns Chapel AME Church, to address the council to obtain a parade permit for Saturday, June 13th, 2026, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., with a rain date of Saturday, June 20th, 2026. The parade in celebration and acknowledgement of the Juneteenth Emancipation Day federal holiday will begin at 303 North Main Street at Downtown Donuts and end at 306 South Main Street, Riverbank and Trust.
Good
Good evening. I think I was asked what year this is, and I believe it's I think it might be our fourth.
Third, I think.
Is it the third? I think it's the fourth. But again, every year it's been a success, and very appreciative of the City of Enterprise, the City Council, and Mayor Cooper for allowing us to have it each year. And so we're coming before you again for the approval for that date.
All right. Any questions? Chief Moore's already told us during work session that that's already been approved by the police department. So there's no further discussion. We will vote.
I move to approve the permit request as submitted.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, great job.
I didn't hear it. What'd you say?
He said, good job.
Oh, I thought you said hot dog. I'm sorry. All right. We'll consider a permit and street closure request. Call for a motion to approve the following permit request as submitted. Whoville Celebration 2025, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, December 26th, with a rain date of Saturday, December 13th, 2025. Street closure from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. College Street, Edwards to the railroad tracks, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Easy Street, Edwards to Main, West Grubbs Street, Main to Railroad Street, East Grubbs Street, Edwards to Main, Railroad Street, College Street to Grubbs from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Main Street will be closed as well, Lee to Harrison. Police Chief Michael Moore has already approved this request during our work session. So do I have a motion?
I move to approve the permit request as submitted.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, this is the time of the privilege of the floor, the part of the meeting where anyone in attendance tonight who wishes to address the council may do so for 3 minutes. If there is a public hearing on the agenda for the topic you're concerned with, and there are 3, please wait until that public hearing opens to address the council. If they choose, staff, mayor, and council will respond to your comments during the appointed times later in the meeting. Repetitive, disruptive, and disparaging comments will not be tolerated. If you're found out of order, your privileges can and will be revoked. Does anyone wish to address the council at this time? All right. You'll come on to the podium and state your name.
Hello, we are Bella and Josie Landry.
To the microphone.
Speaking to the mic.
Hello, we are Bella and Josie Landry. We're from Girl Scout Troop 9114, and we're working on our Silver Award project to help our community and environment.
We are here today to ask you to pass an ordinance to ban intentional balloon releases in Enterprise. We have collected over 600 signatures on Change.org from people who support this initiative. We have also prepared handouts with information which we emailed to you last week.
We want to be clear, we're not talking about a child accidentally letting go of a balloon. We're talking about intentional balloon releases, like for celebrations, memorials, or raising awareness, or even by businesses for advertising events, sales, or grand openings. While these might seem harmless, they have serious consequences.
Latex balloons may be labeled as biodegradable, but they can take up to 4 years to break down, harming wildlife along the way. Mylar balloons are made from metallized plastic and never truly biodegrade. They can last hundreds of years. Once released, balloons become litter, often traveling far from their release site.
This litter can be dangerous for animals. Birds and farm animals like goats, chickens, and ducks, like on our family farm, eat the balloon pieces, which can block their digestive tract and even cause death. Strings and ribbons also endanger animals, restricting their movement or escape. Even just one balloon release can harm multiple animals, especially in rural or coastal areas.
Balloon releases also cause safety hazards. Mylar balloons conduct electricity, so they can cause power outages, fires, or explosions if they touch power lines. Releases near flight paths could also be dangerous for Rucker pilots and missions.
There are many safe alternatives to intentional balloon releases, such as air dancers, feather flags, spin wheels, bubbles, signs, banners, or planting flowers. These options allow businesses and people to celebrate or advertise without harming animals or the environment.
We know the city recently passed an ordinance about high grass and weeds because overgrown lots can be a nuisance, create health and safety risks, and hurt property values. Balloon litter is very similar. It harms animals, creates hazards, and makes our public spaces less clean and beautiful.
We hope you will consider our petition and pass a balloon ordinance in Enterprise. Doing so will help protect animals, the environment, and the beauty of our city. And it will set a great example for everyone who lives here.
Thank you very much for your time and listening to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would state your name, please?
Good evening, council member. My name is Andres Valenzuela, and I co-own the Drunken Weevil with my brother Daniel. Thank you for your time this evening and for your dedication to supporting local business growth here in Enterprise. I have provided copies of our proposed amendments, as well as a map of all restaurants and bars downtown. To respect time, all of our recommended language updates you will find in these printouts. I'd like to begin with Enterprise's own ordinances, because that's where we have the most immediate opportunity. Under Alabama law, specifically Alabama Code Chapter 28, 3A, 17.2, food and beverage trucks are already permitted in entertainment districts when they hold the proper license. But here in Enterprise, our ordinances don't clearly address the food and beverage trucks selling alcoholic beverages. Chapter 4, Article 3, Section 4-71 of the City Code lays out the rules for the entertainment district, but it does not say whether licensed beverage trucks selling alcoholic beverages are allowed to operate. That lack of clarity keeps businesses like ours from participating, even though the state already provides a safe, regulated framework. Our proposal is to align the city code with state law by adding language to Section 4-71 that explicitly allows licensed beverage trucks to operate within the entertainment district. Trucks would follow all the same safeguards as brick and mortar establishments, serving only in approved containers, during the same hours, and from designated locations approved by the city. Another ordinance that needs attention is Appendix A, Article 11, Section 110701, which establishes the 300-foot distance rule from churches, schools, playgrounds, and the YMCA. While the intent of this rule is important for permanent licenses, it unintentionally prevents mobile vendors from supporting events in some of our most important community spaces. For example, the Halloween Festival at Johnny Henderson Park surrounds a public playground, which means beverage trucks cannot participate, even when the city sponsors the event. Similarly, the proximity of First Methodist Church to the entertainment district creates unnecessary restrictions downtown during the fall festival. By adding a narrow exception in Section 110702 for city-permitted public and private events, we can keep protections in place while allowing mobile vendors to support community festivals. At the state level, we are also advocating for updates to Chapter 28, 3A, 17.2 to the current definition of a beverage truck and updating the language to subsection D and subsection H. To save time, these proposed amendments can be found in the folders that were provided. Taken together, these changes to both city ordinances and state law are not about relaxing oversight. They are about clarity, flexibility, and partnership. They create space for small businesses to contribute, they make our festivals stronger, and they allow Enterprise to live up to its name as the city of progress. We believe these amendments are a meaningful step forward for our small businesses, for tourism, and for the continued growth of a vibrant and collaborative downtown. I provided detailed documents outlining each proposal, and I respectfully ask for your support in adopting the amended city ordinances, as well as pushing the state amendments to the proper representatives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Please state your name.
My name is Myra Aruza Ponte, and this is Miss Mary Wiley. Miss Mary Wiley. We come before you, this is my first time, I'm a little nervous, but we come before you to propose, as a cherished member of our vibrant community, we extend a warm invitation on behalf of the Wiregrass Hispanic Latino Outreach in partnership with Good Samaritan Helping Hand of Enterprise and Wiregrass Black Chamber of Commerce. We are thrilled to invite our community to participate on our upcoming celebration, International Family Day in the park, that we are hoping to take place at the Johnny Henderson Park on October 12th. We are asking permission for this event, and we're also inviting our community leaders to support us. Anything you want to say? That would be awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the council? All right, then seeing none, we'll move to old business. Call for a public hearing prior to consideration of ordinance 09-1925. Staff reports, did I skip that? Is there any staff reports? Thank you. All right, so we'll move to public hearing. Call for a public hearing prior to consideration of ordinance 09-1925, providing for the rezoning of 2.69 acres owned by Mark Johns from M2 General Industrial District to Institutional District located at 201 North Industrial Park Road. This is a public hearing during a regular council meeting of the Enterprise City Council. We are here to conduct business in an orderly manner, and we expect the attendees to respect the proceedings. One person will speak at a time. Please give the person who is speaking the same courtesy you expect when it is your time to speak. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. After you're recognized by me to speak, please come forward and speak directly into the microphone. Please make sure all comments are directed at the council, as we will be the ones making the decision. Under no circumstances should comments be directed to anyone other than the council. Please attempt to refrain from repeating the same points that have previously been made so as to keep the proceedings as efficient as possible. After the hearing is closed and the council deliberations begin, there will be no more comments from the audience. This hearing is now open, and I would like to ask the staff to come and open this hearing with their comments.
Thank you, Mr. President. Wanted to let you know there's a little history on this project that you've got in front of you for this first public hearing. This project came before the Planning Commission with a staff recommendation that we were very concerned about the island zoning that this was. So basically taking a piece of property to zone it institutional in an area that was completely enclosed with M2 zoning was not good zoning practices. Not that we were against a church or what the use is, it was just not good zoning practices. So at the Planning Commission, we stated to the Planning Commission the same thing I just told you, and Planning Commission denied the request or was moving it to this body with a recommendation to deny the rezoning request based upon staff's recommendation that this was an island zoning. Since that time, you heard Mr. Tullis talk about the property being moved back to the city's ownership and moving that property all into institutional. And by doing so, that basically takes away all of the concerns that staff has for doing that, and I come here tonight to make a recommendation that this body move forward with rezoning this property from M2 to institutional as requested with no concerns from staff. So I just want to let you know that But it's not very often that you will hear me or the engineering department come to one meeting and then change our opinion, but this is one that we have changed our opinion on. We have no issues with this request, and we recommend approval of the rezoning. Unless you have any questions for me, sir.
Any questions?
Thank you.
All right. Would the applicants like to speak on behalf of this rezone?
My name is Eric Bradley, and I'm the pastor at Church With You. And I just want to thank you guys so much for just hearing us and looking at what was right in front of us on paper, as well as the parks and the baseball fields and all of that. And just to give you some relief. You see a lot of Church With You folks here as well. We're not going to bombard you with comments. This is not what this is. I just want you to know that you got a lot of people in your community that appreciate your time and energy and effort that you guys poured into it, and the research for all of it as well. So I just wanted to take a minute, and like I said, we're not going to bombard you, but take a minute and tell you thank you for the consideration of that. Thank the staff for the hard work in that. I know that's been a lot of time, energy, and emails read and phone calls taken. So thank you for your courage in that, and thank you for your leadership, and thank you guys for hearing that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the general public that would like to voice their support or opposition to the project? All right. Seeing none, we will close the hearing and call for consideration of ordinance 08-1925.
I move to adopt ordinance 08-1925.
Second.
All right, do we have any discussion? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Call for a public hearing prior to consideration of ordinance 08-1925A, providing for the rezoning of 0.96 acres owned by Mark Johns from M2 General Industrial District to Institutional District located at 201 North Industrial Park Road. Pretty much the same thing, I believe, part of the same area.
Yes, sir. Just for the record, same thing I said before would apply to this public hearing as well.
Okay. Applicants have anything to add to this one? All right. Any members of the general public to speak for or against? Seeing none, this hearing is now closed, and I'll call for consideration of ordinance 08-1925B.
I move to adopt ordinance 08-1925A. B.
Second.
Well, for the record, it's A.
It is A?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's A.
And I second.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Now we'll get to B. A call for a public hearing prior to consideration of ordinance 08-1925B, providing for the rezoning of 5.15 acres owned by Crossroads Limited from B1 General Business District to R5 Multifamily Residential District located at 507 Glover Avenue.
Council, so this is a rezone to basically clarify some zoning for the apartment complex. Basically, the current zoning, they would not be able to rebuild if it was ever like burnt down, or if there was ever like an act of God or something like that, that they needed to repair it and do. And so this will allow them to do that by cleaning up the zoning and bringing them into that proper R5.
All right. Are the applicants here to speak on?
No, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
There.
They are.
Jay Connor with BSI Engineering, and this is
like he said, just to bring the property into conforming with the zoning ordinance, and our client intends to rehab the whole complex. And in order to do that, in order to get the financing for that, we had to correct the zoning, bring it under conforming status, and so that's what we're doing.
All right, thank you. Any members of the general public to speak for or against? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing. Call for consideration of ordinance 08-1925B.
Move to adopt ordinance 08-1925B.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, now we'll review and consider ordinance 09-0225 to establish designated business parking permit program. Call for consideration of ordinance 09-0225, creating section 19-23 of the Enterprise Code of Ordinances and establishing a designated business parking permit program for the downtown corridor of College Street to support businesses that lack access to private parking. Do I hear a motion?
Move to adopt ordinance 09-0225.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Now we'll move to new business. Introduce for the record a recommendation from the Enterprise Planning Commission to approve the following. Request by Justin Martin on behalf of M&S Development LLC to rezone 0.60 acres from R1 low-density single-family residential district to B2 Central Business District located at 524 East Lee Street. A request by Justin Martin on behalf of M&S Development LLC to rezone 2.35 acres from R1 low-density single-family residential district and B1 Business District to B2 Central Business District located at 522 East Lee Street. A request by Billy Cotter Construction Incorporated on behalf of the Arbors on Lee Street to rezone 1.13 acres from RT Townhouse Residential District to PRD Planned Residential District located on West Lee Street at Reed Street. Introduce ordinance 09-1625. Introduce ordinance 09-1625 providing for the rezoning of 0.60 acres of land owned by M&S Development LLC from R1 low-density single-family residential district to B2 Central Business District located at 524 East Lee Street. Call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for October 21st, 2025. Introduce ordinance 09-1625A, providing for the rezoning of 2.35 acres of land owned by M&S Development LLC from R1 low-density single-family residential district and B1 Business District to B2 Central Business District located at 522 East Lee Street. A call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for October 21st, 2025. Introduced ordinance 09-1625B, providing for the rezoning of 1.13 acres of land owned by Billy Cotter Construction Incorporated from RT Townhouse Residential District to PRD Planned Residential District located on West Lee Street at Reed Street. Call for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for October 21st, 2025. Now I'll introduce ordinance 09-1625C, providing for the sale of 0.42 acres of property on Lester Drive to Turner Orthodontics Properties LLC at a cost of $19,400. And we will lay this over for consideration at the next regular meeting. Introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 09-1625, providing for the adoption of the fiscal year 2026 budget in the total amount of $99,173,800 for the general fund, all governmental funds, capital project funds, sewer disposal funds, and debt service funds. Do I hear a motion?
I move to adopt Resolution 09-1625.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I would like to abstain. I did not participate in the budget or defining what the dollars were going to, so.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. All right. right, introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 091625A, declaring certain properties which are overgrown with weeds, scrub, wild bushes, grass, and other vegetable growth as injurious to the health, safety, and welfare of the community as nuisances, and calling for a public hearing to be held at the regular meeting scheduled for October 21st, 2025. Do I hear a motion?
Move to adopt Resolution 091625A.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 091625B, a resolution to approve execution of a lease between the City of Enterprise and Enterprise Family YMCA, a branch of the YMCA of Greater Montgomery, for the property located at 904 State Highway 27, Enterprise, Alabama, in a form substantially similar to the form lease attached hereto. Resolution 091625B further authorizes the mayor and city administrator to negotiate the final terms of the lease pending city attorney review and consultation with the council president. While it may not be legally necessary, the city attorney has requested that if council desires to consider this resolution presently, the council suspend the rules before passage of the resolution in a height of caution. Did we decide we wanted to go ahead and do this tonight? Okay.
Okay, I move to adopt Resolution
I think
091.
we need to suspend the rules before we do
George,
that, though.
okay.
So, is everyone in agreement that we'll,
Why are we, I mean, I
Yeah.
just thought this was a regular
We don't need to.
resolution that we passed.
you don't have to do this?
No.
Okay. Okay, it just said in here that at a height of caution, so, okay.
Okay, well, I'll go
All right.
ahead. Okay, Mr. President, move to adopt Resolution 091625B.
All right.
Second.
Any discussion now? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 091625C, ratifying and confirming that the city attorney has been and continues to be authorized nunc-pro-tunc, I don't know how to say that, to initiate or seek the filing of litigation aimed at the remediation and cessation of public nuisances.
Move to adopt Resolution 091625C.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 091625D, amending Ordinance 03-1825A, the Employee Classification Plan Salary Schedule. The amendment creates the positions of Assistant City Engineer and City Planner and designates the positions as Director 2. Do I hear a motion?
I move to adopt Resolution 091625D.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 091625E, providing to accept for maintenance the streets and other public easements, improvements, which are expressly shown on the final plat of the Legends Phase 3 subdivision as public dedications, subject to the contingencies and matters as set out in the September 10, 2025 letter from Thomas Hardy to the council.
Move to adopt Resolution 091625E.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Introduce and call for consideration of Resolution 091625F, providing to accept for maintenance the streets and other public easements, improvements, which are expressly shown in the final plat of the Legends Phase 5 subdivision, Phase 4 subdivision as public dedication, subject to the contingencies and matters as set out in the September 10, 2025 letter from Thomas Hardy to the council. Do I have a motion?
I move to adopt Resolution 091625F.
All right, second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Introduce and call for consideration of a request from Thomas Hardy, Assistant Director of Engineering, to installing the following. 1, 31-watt LED light fixture on Friendship Street at Delville Avenue at an annual cost of $157.56. One 31-watt LED light fixture on Friendship Street at East Grub Street at an annual cost of $157.56. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the street lighting request as submitted.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Mayor, do you have a report for us?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to begin by welcoming Todd Walsh to the council as the new representative for District 5. We're glad to have you on board and look forward to working together for the good of our city. As a reminder, school is back in session, and now that we are well into sports season, there are many children running around with after-school activities. Please use extra caution when driving. Children may not always be aware of the cars on the roadways, and as I like to say, where there's a ball, there's usually a boy or a girl not too far behind. Yesterday, we were proud to cut the ribbon on the new mural downtown. It is such a vibrant addition to our city center and always brings joy to our citizens and visitors. Finally, I want to remind everyone that the runoff election will be held 1 week from today on Tuesday, September 23rd at the Moose Hope Gym. All citizens will vote at one location and polls will open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you.
Ms. Rich?
So glad to see so many people come out for council meeting tonight. It was so positive. I don't know that I've heard that much applause on a hearing before. But certainly, congratulations to our Enterprise Police Department on those that received promotions. Want to say how much we appreciate our finance team and our HR and all the budget team, everybody that worked so hard to implement our changes that we are passing with our budget. And thank you to those that came to speak to us during privilege of the floor. We always appreciate and want to hear from our citizens. I always love to hear people bring their ideas to privilege of the floor, but certainly want to say to the girl power in the back in the form of Miss Bella and Josie, I commend you on your courage and you coming before us with your passions. That's very cool. And last but not least, congrats to Councilman Waltz. Welcome to the experience. We'll just say that. Thank y'all for coming. More claps. I love it.
Mr. Goolsbee?
I would also like to welcome Todd Walsh to our council. Glad to have you on board. I would like to thank Tammy Dewar for the hard work that she put in to make the mural possible that we had the ribbon cutting on this week. And thank you for Melissa and Addison Paul for the use of the Yancey Parker building. I'd like to encourage everyone to turn out next Tuesday and vote. I'd like to get everyone to come out and voice their opinion. And congratulations to all our police officers on their promotion tonight. Thank everyone for coming.
Okay. Todd, thank you. It's great having the seat filled next to me. I appreciate that, and welcome. You're going to have fun. Our Enterprise Police Department promotions, it's awesome to see all these officers up here. It's great to have them out there every day doing what they do to protect us, and I thank them. And what they do to Special Olympics, my wife Dawn and I help out with Special Olympics, and it's really nice to see that check going to those folks. Bella and Josie, I went on your survey. I'm one of those people that signed up for it, okay? And thank you. This packet, I don't think in my military time, I've ever seen anybody come up with a presentation as thorough as this one is for us. And thank you for your email. I really appreciate that for your Silver Award project. Thank you to everyone that's come tonight. We appreciate it. It's always great to see our regulars, and it's always great to have our regulars that are watching us online. And if you can't make it, you can always go back in and review it because we archive every meeting. Thank you, Leanne over there, and Ms. Love. Thank you very much, Allison, for all the hard work that goes in to make that that impression when our citizens come in, whether it's paying a water bill, revenue permits. I've heard a lot of great comments coming from folks when I was out campaigning out there, talking to folks, and they say it's well worth it. So thank you again to you all, and thank you to all our city workers, Barry and Thomas. We appreciate everything you do with the city, helping us out, water department, everybody. I've just tickled us pink when I talk to all those folks. But thank you so very much. And please go out and vote. Let's get that percentage up to, I'd like to see 80% or better. So we got to tell everybody. I challenge each of you to send out 200 emails or text, because I know everybody's on the internet, to your friends and family that live in the city and tell them to vote. They've got to vote. And go by and look at the mural. Again, Tammy, thank you for that mural. Thank you to the Parkers. I love that mural. I have a special heart part in that mural. So please go by and let me know what you think about it. God bless. Thank you. Todd?
Yeah, special night for me, for sure. And for my family, and for my friends that came here to see this seating, thank you all for coming. Special thank you for all those that are here from District 5 that voted for me, or I shook your hand, or there was a lot of days I was out there sweating in the heat and walking the streets, and every time you opened the door and greeted me and asked me questions, that gave me the energy to go to another door and keep going and keep pushing. And so with that, I'm excited to serve the City of Enterprise, not just District 5, but the entire City of Enterprise for the next 4 years. I'm committed to you, and I'm committed with a servant's heart and dedicated to the city I love. So looking forward to working for you. And just like my other council member said, thank you all for welcoming me and being here for me. I've talked to a couple of you guys before tonight, and they made sure I knew how to dress and when to be here and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't show up in my flip-flops and shorts. So that's a good thing, right? And I want to remind you guys to vote as well. I wouldn't be here if people didn't vote. And so the election's very important. The runoff election's very important. So I do want to remind everybody to get out and vote at the rec center.
All right. I'd also like to welcome our incoming Councilman Todd Walls. Todd and I have known each other for nearly 30 years. We've shared church pews. We've worked together. We've enjoyed everything from board games to a couple of rounds of disc golf. And never thought we'd be sitting up here together, but hey, here we are. It's a privilege now to serve our city side by side, and I'm truly pleased to have him join our team. And thank all of those that came to speak to our council. I would also like to congratulate the Enterprise Police Department on their promotions. And I am so excited to hear that we're finally going to be able to do business license and permits and applications online. And yes, please, please, please go vote Tuesday. It's so important. And as we close out this meeting, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the very difficult events that our nation has witnessed over the last couple of weeks. We mourn the senseless killing of the Ukrainian refugee in North Carolina. Left many of us reflecting on the challenges that face newcomers to our country, the responsibilities we carry as communities, and especially in light of some recent information, the focus that needs to be put back on the mental health of so many of our fellow citizens. Many were also shaken by the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk, a prominent national figure, reminding us that political violence has no place in our society, and challenging us all to seek unity amid our very passionate differences. We can still have dialogue and does not have to resort to political violence here in the United States. And same day that that tragic thing happened, we saw those students in Colorado who were wounded in the high school shooting, and we send our prayers and our desire for them to have a full recovery and healing in that community that was shaken by that shooting. And so I just say that we need to honor the lives of all of these people and work hard to make a safer and more compassionate world starting right here at home and enterprise. With that, you're dismissed. Our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. You always rock it. Oh, they did such a good job.